Welcome to the Next Guy Podcast. You have an extra special episode today, for real this time. For the first time in the Next Guy Podcast history, the three of us are sitting in the same room together. So it sounds a little different, that's probably why. But the boys made a visit up to Knoxville to see us and the baby, and we said, why not go ahead and do an extra special live version of the podcast. And so along with us, we do have our studio audience that is also here watching the recording today. We're in a sold-out arena. Just kidding. We should do that one day, though, whenever we make it big, you know. You see those podcasts do live podcasts?
Live podcasts, yeah. And they make a lot of money off of just recording an episode.
Yeah, you like go rent out a theater or whatever, and people just come watch you do a podcast.
And Practical Jokers does that too, don't they? Where they do like shows off
probably.
of it. Yeah.
But how would they do that? Because they're just doing their whole shows pranking strangers that don't know.
They'd be like, all right, guys, watch this clip from the supermarket.
This is a little off topic, but it is like messing around on a Monday. So, but don't people know who they are at this point? So how would you continue to do that show? I've always wondered that. I feel like they're very well known. And
That's true.
You should know if they're being pranked or not.
I've seen some newer episodes, and they do get like guests and like strangers to like do the pranks for them while they're just talking in their ear and telling them what to do. So
that is a good point. It's hard to surprise people with. You see that guy on Instagram who does like the he's like the bodybuilder, but he like doesn't look like it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
He's like dressed
up
as a janitor,
his
right?
name's Anatoly. Yeah.
And so people are like lifting heavy weight, and then he comes over to like say, "Oh, I need a mop around where you guys are," and he like picks it up with no problem. Where they are expecting.
So this like huge dude will be deadlifting like 600 pounds, and he'll be like to get like 2 reps out, and like struggle, and then he'll come up in like this janitor outfit and be like, "Hey, I need to mop." But he's like a Russian guy. He's got a thick Russian accent. He's like, "I need to mop here," and the guy's like, and then he's like, "Oh, just give me a second." And then he goes and picks it up and like moves it because he's like wearing a super loose fitting. Like
so
he's like,
he's
huge and he's super strong, but he doesn't look like it. Like he's not like steroided up like mass, but he's like strong, and he'll just like pick it up and move it over, and then the guys are like, it's like not a prank, it's real. Like they're just like, what just happened?
He's just getting their reaction.
But the more he does, I'm like, surely these people have seen these videos. Like, how does he keep finding people that have never seen it before? Or like, how many does he have to do before he finds one that like hasn't watched him do it on Instagram?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like I'd catch on pretty quick to one of those. Like, I see a lot of not like that, but like pranks, like people asking like weird questions and stuff. And it's like, I feel like I would know this was an Instagram prank pretty quick. But maybe that's just because we've seen it all 1,000 times.
We've seen some of them where they will do like the most like horrific thing to someone, and then that person's like chasing after them, and they're like, "It's a prank! It's a prank!" They'll like pour paint on them or something just in the street, and then they're like chasing after them. I was like, "It was just a prank. I'm sorry." I was like,
that was like early YouTube when people used to do that a lot.
Pretending to steal their gas out of their car, like siphon their gas, and then the person's like chasing after them. It's a prank.
People like putting their life on the line by like doing it's a prank videos like that. But like if the guy responded poorly, you literally could have died.
Like during Halloween, they'd be dressed up in like a terrifying suit, holding a sword, and I'm like, and they're like, "It's a prank," and I'm like, I would be terrified for my life. So I'm trying to think of if there was any other of those. They're pretty funny. How many hours have we seen of those? They're countless.
Many hours.
Okay, so like I said, the boys are up here in Knoxville. We have been watching some golf today. Tim's heartbreakingly lost his Avalanche bet.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we don't talk about that, but we were all invested in that one. That was a tough loss over the weekend for your boys here.
Zach doesn't get to buy the NCAA game anymore.
Yeah, so my new thing, this is a little bit of a betting. My new thing is I'm not allowed to buy the NCAA 25 game unless it's like with betting earnings. And I've had some bets not go my way. I had some money on the Avalanche. I put some out on Scotty Scheffler over the weekend after his incident on Friday, which is one of the most hilarious things I've ever. It was like one of those all-time Twitter mornings.
Yes.
Where I was at work, but I was also just like Twitter was absolutely blowing up because everyone had reactions to. If you missed it, shout out to my mom who probably has no idea what we're talking about right now. She told me she wanted me to shout her out more on the pod, so there you go. Scotty Scheffler, world #1 golfer, got arrested on his way to the golf course, basically for
trying to go to his job.
for accidentally like going the wrong direction on the road or something. Wild stuff. I was trying to compare it to somewhere else in sports, like LeBron trying to walk into a basketball game and getting arrested or something. Could you imagine what would happen if that?
Because the security team was like, oh, we don't know who he is because he didn't have his like badge that says he's allowed to come in the stadium. It's like, well, duh, that's LeBron James. You should just let him in. Like, this is the #1 world ranked golfer. Why was he just like detained from walking into this golf course?
And I thought that it was he just was in handcuffs on the side of the road, then they let him go. No, they took him to jail, did a mug shot with everything, and I'm like, how do you
charge him with like 4 different like felonies?
Yeah, this officer is like not letting it go. He's the one who like drummed up the charges and like, no, I'm not letting it go.
So the more backstory apparently, I read this is. The people working the event, like the police officers assigned to the event, were all like actual golf fans. Like they asked for volunteers and stuff to go, but there was a car wreck or a car hit a pedestrian.
Yes,
which is why there was so much traffic and stuff. And there were other cops on the scene, so the cop that arrested him was actually responding to the traffic incident. He wasn't there working the golf, so he didn't know who he was. He probably didn't even know there was a golf tournament happening and people were. He was just like probably trying to respond. So. But that's pretty tough. Yeah. Not great.
No.
For my guy, Scotty Scheffler. So.
But he responded and had a great round.
He did. And I put money on him.
And then he fell apart Saturday.
Yeah, caught up to him.
Ran out of gas.
His prison nightmares.
He said he was doing his stretching that morning because he was late for his tee time. He's like, yeah, I just did my stretches in like a jail cell, so that was a first.
That's wild stuff. Apparently the owner of the golf course is who picked him up at the prison. Or at the jail.
Like when he got him?
No, it was like one of the owners of the Valhalla golf course is the guy who picked him up in his car, like his personal car. At the prison. It's wild stuff, yeah.
Did he lose like a whole night of sleep? Because I felt like this happened like...
No, it was like 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning. Okay. He got there really early for his round.
Early. Okay.
It was pitch black and it was raining, and so it was a nightmare.
Tough break.
But it is what it
Fall
is.
Short.
The funniest part of the whole thing was on the police report. It said the very last line of the police report was he was talking about all the things that happened. It's like the cop has like a bruise on his knee, an abrasion on his elbow, or whatever, and it's like his pants were ruined. There's like $80 pants, not like I forget the wording it used. Basically, it was like his pants are ruined. His $80 pants were ruined. That was like the gist of it. And it was like, I'm sure that Scotty Scheffler was going to have a hard time replacing those $80 pants. Wild stuff from that event. But that was all over Twitter, though. So let's see something else I would like the boys to respond to today. This is a very scientific article. It actually was kind of scientific. And it said that here's the article title. It says, scientists pinpoint age when adults officially become uncool. And it's age 33. So we know that Tins and Mason are at 30.
Yeah.
I'm at 29. And it says, research shows adults stop keeping up with popular music at age 33, entering a phase called taste freeze. That something happens whenever you hit your 30s that you stop liking new music and you go back to the music of your youth. And you're like, back in my day, music was good stuff. We didn't have this trash of today. And that happens like with all generations. Like once you hit 30, it's like music is terrible now. Back in my day, we had better music, you know?
I already don't like today's music.
I know. See, it's happening. So it does say, another note from Spotify. It's like this Spotify researcher says this. Parenthood accelerates this effect by about 4 years, leading parents to listen more to children's music. But it was like they stopped listening to popular music once you have kids, I guess. So it kind of speeds up the process. So 33 minus 4 is 29. So there I am. So it looks like I hit the threshold just now.
Not cool anymore.
Mason is still cool.
Well, the thing is, you have to be cool to then be uncool. So was I cool to begin with? Probably not.
It also suggests that men experience taste freeze sooner and more dramatically than women.
I could see that.
I listen to a lot of like today's country, and Macy likes a lot of that. Judge me if you want. We don't listen to kids' music in the car whenever I'm picking her up from school.
It's a podcast.
He only listens to the podcast on
We
repeat.
listen to the podcast, or I have a playlist that has like today's country or a lot of like '90s music that I like Blink-182 and stuff. So that's what she listens to. And,
nice.
But yeah, no, there's not a lot of like pop music that's popular now that I like listen to. It's really like Ben Camino, Blink-182, and whatever's on today's country radio is what I listen to.
About 1 to 2 times a week, Tinsley tells us after the podcast is recorded, Macy roasting one of us, mostly me, I feel like, on something that I said on the podcast. Shout out Macy, shout out to ex-mom Sonia, not shout out Robert, right?
Well, Robert probably hit this like uncool phase pretty early. Like probably when he was like 25, he stopped caring about anything popular. Which that was like 49 years ago. He was 25. No. Shout out, Robert.
Shout out.
You got a shout out.
He's made some comments to us about he thinks we portray him unfairly on the podcast. So if you haven't listened to his, he did an interview with us back. I don't remember what episode number it was, but it was at the beginning of our off-season series. We're going to have to get back into our interview series.
Yes.
But he was one that we did. So if you want to know a little bit more about him, check out that episode. It's a really good one. We're going to have him on at some point to respond to all of the insults we've thrown at him over the years. So, you guys think that's true though? You guys think you're done with popular music? Our wives all listen to Taylor Swift, so they're pretty locked in.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. They're all well below that threshold though, the 33 threshold.
Yeah, I've not listened to popular modern day music in probably a couple years.
Outside of country, no, not for me either.
Interesting.
I still listen to a lot of 90s music, so.
Does that mean if you're cool or uncool? Are we just talking music here, or does that just mean in general?
Well, the research came from Spotify, so they were analyzing data of users. Okay. But they found that once a user hit that threshold, then it's their taste started changing from. They stopped seeking out new music to listen to and started just falling back into listening to old stuff.
I do that with TV shows.
Me too.
I don't really watch a lot of the newer TV shows unless it's the Fallout series. I watch that if it's something I'm probably interested in, but I don't go out of my way to catch up on new sitcoms or things like that. I just started watching King of Queens again.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's a 90s sitcom, but I just started it again. I was I remember I liked this show, so I don't know.
I did that with New Girl. I started New Girl again, and I watched it at least a couple times. I'm almost done with it. It's good, though.
We should try a sitcom bracket, maybe.
Oh yeah,
one day. Put that on there. 90s or early 2000s sitcom bracket.
That one's hard because I don't really have a lot of ones I didn't like.
Yeah.
For the most part, the ones that had multiple seasons, they all did well enough to get those multiple seasons. They did good ratings and things like that. When New Girl was 9 seasons?
It was 6.5.
Oh, okay. I thought it was way more than that.
They kept thinking it was going to get canceled. New Girl was weird because I've started listening to a new podcast with Jake Johnson on it, and he talks about it somewhere. New Girl almost got canceled a bunch of times. So did The Office, actually. They held on by the skin of their teeth a couple of seasons in the beginning. But New Girl wasn't super popular when it was on TV. And then once it got on streaming, and then it kind of got pretty big a couple years after, once it dropped all on streaming and people could watch all of it. So it had a really late run where I don't think a lot of people watched it live, like Friends or one of the big ones. Or The Office, by the end of it, people were watching it live
every week. Yeah, New Girl does have it's a show that's very fun to stream, binge watch. I'll watch 4 or 5 episodes at once, and I could get where if you're watching every week, because the stories don't always mesh where it's a continuous thing. It's every episode's kind of its own thing sometimes. So I could get where binging it was a lot more like better for their ratings. But a sitcom bracket would be hard.
It'd be fun.
It would be fun though.
How about
think about it.
binge-worthy
Oh.
bracket? You just talked about binging something. What is like the easiest to binge? Yours is probably The Office.
Yeah, probably
Zoo?
The Office. Hey, don't be talking about Zoo.
What was it?
The
100? I
show
felt
the
like
100.
The 100 y'all binge
That one petered off pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
After about 2
It
seasons.
had a lot of potential. Like the first 3 seasons of 100 were good, and then I don't know what happened. It got crazy. A lot of those CW shows like that, like Riverdale. Like me and Morgan started watching Riverdale when it was on Netflix, and first 2 seasons I was like, okay, this could be like an okay show to kind of just watch and not really care about. And then they started time traveling and alternate realities and
off the rails. Lost was like that too, wasn't it? Kind of crazy a little bit.
Lost was very good up
looked
until the very
serious.
like they just didn't know how to wrap it up in a way that was made sense. They had too many storylines, and it was like they couldn't figure out a good way to make it make sense. So I mean, that one was pretty controversial. Some people do like it. A lot of people hate it. Game of Thrones is famously the one that had the worst landing.
Worst way it landed, yeah.
That was the most popular show on Earth for 5 years, and then it just kind of blew up.
It had such a build-up, right? And I've never seen it.
Well,
But
it's another thing where they were going off the actual books for the first however many seasons.
Yeah.
They ran out of books, and they kind of made it up as they went along. They knew they were going to do one more season because of all the actors and stuff. And they were like, how do we make all these storylines make sense and finish like 100 different storylines in one season? And they did not. Apparently, I've never actually watched it, but you talk to a lot of people, and that's their biggest gripe, like in television history, is the last season of Game of Thrones. What a waste!
All that potential,
and it makes me not want to watch it almost because I know that it's such an unsatisfying ending. Like, I don't know. There's something about it. Once you know the ending's bad, it's like, should I spend all this time watching it, invest it? Okay, well, today we have some fun things planned. This is a long time to wrap up the intro, but we
17 minutes in, baby.
We have some press releases coming your way. We have some food for thought. It's becoming a popular piece of the episode, I think.
That just shows what type of people we are when I get more excited, or Tinsley just said it earlier. He's like, the food for thought is like my focus is the food. So it's just, that's all I have, because the press release, I'm like,
I would like to know how you guys find all of your food information.
Oh, trust me. I get notifications, and it's all
as soon
social
as
media.
McDonald's new item drops, he's getting notifications on his phone. But we do have some food for thoughts. And then lastly, what I think is going to be a really fun bracket, we are going to, in today's episode, nominate and elect our official ice cream of the podcast. So the official ice cream of the Next Got podcast will be determined today. We have a bracket of our favorites. I will say we'll detail it more as we get there. We went through a painstaking process to get this bracket created. We created it ourselves this time. It is going to be a really fun time, I think, going through it. We are going to be, if you want to play along with us on our Instagram page this week, we are going to be every day, starting on Monday, doing one round at a time so that you all can go vote on each of the matchups and see if you agree with us and come to the same conclusion we did. So if you take, if you don't like one of our picks and you think that there is a travesty, you can go and try and correct it on Instagram. So that will be there. I think that's a pretty fun little way. We'll talk about next week what the results were, whether you all agree with us or not. So, all that being said, we're on to the press release, everybody.
Zach, I know you got quite a bit, so you want to kick us off?
Let's get cooking. Less than last week, but I do have some good ones. First of all, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is being released on 4K UHD for the first time ever on July 16th.
I'm interested.
So of all of the things that are happening in the week of July 16th, the biggest one is SpongeBob SquarePants movie releasing.
4K.
Definitely not College Football 25, which is getting released 3 days after that on July 19th, which we are very excited about. We've been talking about a lot. But that's coming soon. Okay, big time Are you guys SpongeBob SquarePants movie fans?
I'm a huge fan.
fan.
I feel like there's these re-releases. Star Wars did it for May 4th. They're doing these like putting them back in the theaters. Maybe because it's slower.
Well, it's not in theaters. It's like digital media.
4K. Well, yeah. But they're redoing something like doing the 4K or putting things back in theaters. So I'll probably be watching it. Why not? Is it going to look different?
I don't know. Maybe
4K. Sometimes I watch a football game in 4K and I'm like, can I tell the difference? I don't know.
Maybe not. There was a meteor in the sky seen in Portugal. If you haven't watched this video, go look it up. Meteor in Portugal. Wild stuff. I'm almost positive it's a real video. Very hard to confirm this in this day and age. I'm nearly positive it's a kind of greenish blue light streaking across the sky. It's late at night, so it's dark, and then all of a sudden it comes into view. Pretty wild stuff. I think it's real.
So are we ruling out aliens for this one? Because the blue and green light.
It's true.
I've never seen anything like. I always imagine a meteor just being like fire, a ball of fire, obviously, like kind of flying across. It had green and blue. Aliens? ? That's what I'm wondering.
It could be. Go watch the video so you know what we're talking about. But it's pretty wild. Speaking of aliens, fantastic forecasting. We continue to have new people added into our cast list. Some of them we know who they are going to be. Some of them we don't. Our Galactus has been cast as Ralph. Oh man, I'm going to mispronounce his name and get roasted. Ineson, I don't know. I think he's a British guy. He's been in a lot of stuff though. He's a pretty popular actor. He has Galactus, who is the destroyer of worlds. Literally eats planets. And then we have a couple other really big time casting. John Malkovich has been cast in an unknown role. So has Paul Walter Hauser. And Natasha Lyonne, who's a pretty popular actress right now. So they are kind of building a huge cast for this Fantastic Four movie that reportedly is going to start filming in July, I believe. So pretty exciting stuff. There's a couple of people have thought. People have been speculating, obviously, about who's going to be what. But I think that's going to be some fun stuff.
I almost thought John Malkovich was in Breaking Bad, but that is not.
No, John Malkovich. He's been in a lot of different movies. Being John Malkovich was a big one that he was in. Yeah, Con Air, Mice and Men, Rounders. He's been in a lot of stuff. I watched the first season of Space Force with Steve Carell. He was in that. If you're familiar. But yeah. Unknown role for right now. Okay, next. A new High School Musical film is reportedly in the works for Disney+. Disney wants to bring Zac Efron as Troy Bolton back. How do we feel about this decision,
Just keep on squeezing that lemon, get all the juice you can get out of it, I guess.
Only if they do a side-by-side of old Zac Efron and new Zac Efron to show all of his facial reconstruction surgery.
He's definitely not had that jawline surgery.
He is 36 years old.
Well, he's not going to be a high schooler anymore.
They bring him back.
It'll definitely be like his kid will be in high school. That's how they're going to do it. It has to be. That's the classic way to do it. It's like his kid now is trying to make the freshman team or whatever at the high school and wants to be in music. And it's like, or they'll do something else. He'll want to play football and be in marching band or something. It'll be similar, you know.
Something similar.
Same storyline.
I could write that.
People.
Yeah.
They did that with Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World.
It's classic.
Parents and the
same
kids.
stuff. Yeah.
Walking their kids through the same stuff they had to go through.
Well, I guess it goes back to if you're 30 and you watch the same TV shows.
That's why
they redo
now
it.
you're an adult and you have your own kids. You know?
They'll do a remake of Friends and
it's a
maybe
Toy
The
Story
Office.
model. True. Okay. Let's see what else I have. Happy Gilmore 2, we talked about that a little bit already. Ten's talked about that, but it's been confirmed coming to Netflix, and Adam Sandler is confirmed going to be in the movie.
I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good.
It was how long ago? It was 90s was the first one, right? I was going to look up the age
95.
difference. 95.
Shooter McGavin's character's coming back as well.
Heck yeah.
So that makes it even better. I saw Tiger Woods might be attached to it as Chubb's son.
Yeah, Rip Chubb.
Yeah, RP my guy Chubb. Will Zalatoris, which if you're not a fan of golf, he's a player on the PGA Tour who looks like Adam Sandler's caddy in the original Happy Gilmore. He's attached to it as well.
All that, yeah.
So I don't know. It probably won't be as good as the first one, but it'll be worth watching and laughing at, and then maybe just a one-time watch.
One time
Gives it that kind of vibe, I bet.
Boy, Adam Sandler, he's put out some interesting movies on the Netflix train recently. So.
Yeah, they've been pretty rough. The Spaceman was solid. I watched it.
I don't think I watched that one, actually.
I would just give it solid. It would not be anything above like a C-. And then Hustle.
I watched Hustle. I don't know if
Hustle.
That wasn't a Netflix movie, was it? Or was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I watched Hustle. It was good.
It's like when he makes these cheesy movies for Netflix, everybody's like wanting to roast Adam Sandler, but he still makes solid movies. Just, for every one of the Hoobie Halloweens, there's a movie like Hustle,
Facts.
96, by the way.
I was close.
The original one?
Yeah.
Okay, last one I've got for you is that the U.S. House of Representatives has passed the Ticket Act, which will create transparency in ticket pricing. If enacted, the act will require sellers to show full pricing up front, including fees, ban speculative ticketing where the seller does not actually have possession of the ticket, ban deceptive websites, provide full refunds for canceled events, and offer comparable replacement tickets for any postponed event. That's nice.
That's nice, especially. I mean, me and Mason go to a lot of games. We'll like try to ticket price and compare on different apps, and then you go to check out, and the fees will be out of hand. It's like paying for a whole nother ticket essentially. Yeah. And then some apps have that, and some apps include the fees in the price when you look. So I like this where we can actually know what we're paying for instead of being like, oh wow, I found a great deal, and then having to start your search all over because there's an extra $200 in fees, which is just crazy.
I think Ticketmaster already has like an include fees button where you can hit it on the website, so it shows you the actual checkout price. And this is not going to help this, but this is something else I've been thinking about. It's been a popular trend on the internet this week to talk about Taylor Swift Eras Tour tickets and how she's touring in Europe right now. And so some people have done the math and said, I could jump on an airplane, fly to Spain, watch the show there, fly back, get a hotel, fly back the next day, and spend as much money as I would on tickets to see Taylor Swift in my city that I live in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like $1,500 for a ticket. You could spend $500 on plane tickets. So ticket pricing in the U.S. has kind of gotten insane with the aftermarket stuff and for all things, but especially for like the Eras Tour has really shown how jacked up our pricing system is, where people buy it up and then jack pricing up because of demand is high and stuff like that. So
$3,000 for the last show I think I saw, which it's only going to go up and up like more. And that was probably nosebleed, and there was tickets that they were selling that was behind the stage. You couldn't even see anything. It was just for you to be there and to hear it. So pretty wild stuff. For someone that goes to concerts and like football games quite a bit, it's gotten out of hand. We actually bought tickets to a concert, and we figured out later that we couldn't go. So then we're trying to resell them for face value, and they're taking the service charge. Like they're taking $26 out per ticket just for us to get. So we're losing money if we were just trying to sell them at face value, which I know a lot of people get on there just to try to make money. And we're just like, oh, we just want to get our money back. Because Ticketmaster actually has this thing right now. If you want to sell them back to them immediately, they'll buy them for $40 a piece, which I think we bought them for $160 a piece. So then we're like, let's just try to sell them for face value. But then they're like, oh, we're going to take $26 out for a service charge to sell them back to somebody, which they're also charging a service charge to that person to buy them. So Ticketmaster knows what they're doing, I guess, when it comes to making money, but it's crazy right now. I don't know if that really resolved like what you said.
I think it's part of it. Yeah, I think that is at least a piece of it.
I've seen a lot of these things now where you have to like subscribe to their emails and subscribe to their things to get the pre-sale code, which prevents people like bots and prevents people from just buying. Like you have to be a fan, like you're following their Instagram page or whatever, and that's the only way that you're able to actually have early access to their concerts. So
it's been
it kind of helps if a lot of concerts they do that now.
There's been a conundrum around all ticketing for stuff like this of like, how do we get real fans tickets in their hands for like the face value price and not to get jacked up and pricing.
This might solve it a little
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the answer to that is. This might help a little bit, but I don't think it's going to help with the aftermarket stuff necessarily. Yeah, I think the pre-sale codes could help and things help, like the bots that just come in and buy them all up and stuff. And that's real. That's stuff that sells out in seconds or whatever. So I don't know, interesting stuff. We're gonna have to face that problem one day at the next live
events.
Recording.
Yeah,
that's right.
We'll always sell physical copies.
We're gonna stay on the side of the road.
Bring back the paper copies. That's what we need to do. Everybody needs to go out and actually get paper copies.
We're just gonna take paper and write on it. Like admit one next podcast recording. Okay, you guys have some food for thoughts?
I had one press release I wanted to hit real quick.
Yeah.
So the NBA TV rights are going to be up not this season, but after next season with TNT. And as of right now, NBC is the favorites to land these rights. And that might not matter to some of you who are just casual NBA fans who just watch the games. But if you are a fan of the Inside the NBA pregame and halftime and postgame show with Shaq, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Ernie, that show would be ending. The show, they have come out and said that they would not be taking the show to NBC. Not due to interest. They have offered for that to happen, but Ernie Johnson has worked for TNT his whole life and says that he would not leave. And so Chuck looks like he's going to be going over, and Shaq as well, but it looks like Ernie and Kenny Smith will be leaving the show, and which that's just, I don't know, it's one of those things where even if you're not a big NBA fan, you catch the clips. Like Charles Barkley is a quote machine for being funny, like clips on Twitter. So I hope they work something out where the show can continue, but it does not look like we'll get that after next NBA season.
Dang.
Which would that'd be tough. Because that show is hilarious.
I love that show. You need to just look up highlight clips, and it's not even like about basketball. No. It would just be like the guys literally dropping like 10,000 rubber duckies on like Charles Barkley for no reason. It's just funny. They'll do like pranks on each other. There was one time they were racing to the board, and one of them like pushed like Shaq into a Christmas tree, and he fell down. Like they have fun while they do this, and it's like the most entertaining stuff. So I would hate that if that show actually did not exist no longer. So any takes, Zach?
I agree.
He agrees.
Keep the show around.
All right, food for thoughts.
Let's do this.
All right. Mason, did you want me to start, or did you have one other than?
Yeah, I got one,
Okay.
and then I'll finish this up. So Oreos and Star Wars just keeps making money. It's insane. They'll never give up either. My kids will have kids, and they will still be putting out Star Wars stuff. Anyways, they are doing a dark side, light side, which is basically taking the same cookie with the same filling and just having red, which I feel like they've already done this for like red, white, and blue for like 4th of July, but they're just rebranding and just doing the dark side will be red, obviously, and then the light side would be blue, and it's just like a split thing of Oreos, a pack of them. So I think it's already out by now. It looks like it has been, but you can, May 30th is when you can start pre-ordering. So it has not been out yet, but nationwide will be June 10th while supplies last. Pre-order. Yep.
On the aftermarket on those things.
Oreo.com.
Sell them on eBay.
We're talking about making money off of selling tickets. How about Oreos? Making money off of selling Star Wars limited edition Oreos.
There's a collector out there for it.
When Twinkies went out, people were like buying them on eBay for like hundreds of dollars a box. So pretty wild stuff. I don't know if this would happen, but Oreo.com/Star Wars to pre-order, everybody. Also, we want a little bit of that royalty check for our advertising here.
Yeah, use promo code NEXTGUYUP for 10% off. We should just start saying that to stuff, even if we don't actually have it.
If it worked, maybe it'll work. You never know.
If it did work.
Yeah, if, like these companies keep getting all these like fake promo codes, maybe they're like, wow, who are these guys?
We need to reach out to them.
They're driving a lot of business to our website.
All right. All right. I've got a few. McDonald's. Shout out McDonald's. You've been getting got a lot of pub on the pod recently. They're releasing a new McFlurry May 21st, so this Tuesday. It is going to be grandma maple syrup. So it's supposed to taste like pancakes, like a grandma's pancake situation, with a new maple syrup flavor and chopped candy pieces. I don't know what the candy pieces are. Maybe butterscotch. I'm not real sure. It doesn't say what flavor they are.
What is this? This is a terrible one. First of all, let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
Their ice cream machines never even work. What's even the point of releasing new flavors if it's like available at 10% of our stores that actually have working ice cream machines? Second of all, is this really the best that our R&D department could put together? It was Grandma's, what is it? Grandma's
pancake McFlurry, essentially.
It's summertime outside. All the other places are releasing all these summery drinks and summery flavors, and you're doing Grandma's pancakes.
That sounds like a winter drop.
I truly don't understand this. That's the worst. McDonald's is back on my list. That was a terrible idea.
From all of this that we've given you all updates from, McDonald's is not doing good. From like at the beginning of the year, their numbers said so. Like their investors were like freaking out. I think they're just they're literally in like a panic mode right now. They're coming up with the most like bizarre. We're talking about them every episode, so it's working for them. But they're coming up with some pretty like bizarre. Let's redo our chicken sandwich. Let's redo our everything, which tends to like the chicken.
I did have it. I tried that as well. They had a deal on an app for like 50% off. Yeah,
and it was good.
What is it called? The McCrispy.
The McCrispy. Yeah.
I had the bacon,
the Cajun
one.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's good. So
that
was working for them, but they're on a constant like, let's keep adding things. Like I feel like we are really talking about them every single week.
Could you imagine eating a burger and drinking a grandma's pancake milkshake with that?
No.
And what are we? What?
I
don't understand.
I imagine it just tasting like syrup. Like it's just
like a meal replacement protein milkshake.
That'd be pretty tough.
Oh,
at least the other ones, I feel like they make more sense. Like having an Oreo when you can get a McFlurry. Once again, you made a good point about the ice cream machines being down. So why are they even doing this? But so people talk about it.
We just become a fast food podcast.
Fast
food trackers.
Well, if we're talking fast food trackers, I got two more that fall under there. Speaking of summertime flavors, the Orange Dreamsicle Frosty, which has gotten rave reviews on this podcast, they are saying it will be leaving soon. There's no timetable on it, but I feel like if they're saying soon, probably be at the end of this month, which is just dumb. It's summertime. What's more refreshing than an orange dreamsicle flavored Frosty? Like I've already eaten a ton of them. I'll continue to eat tons of them all summer long. Like that just feels like a summertime flavor to me.
Yep.
So to be taking it away right when summer is about to start feels like a dumb move. But what do I know? And then my last food for thought here. And if you don't know who this guy is, I guess you've been living under a rock in Canada or something. The Mr. Beast collaboration with Zaxby's just hit this last Friday. It is a chicken tender box. You get 3 chicken tenders, fries, mozzarella cheese bites, and 2 pieces of Texas toast. And you also get the Mr. Beast Feastables chocolate candy bar. So that's his own line of chocolate candy bars. If you don't know who Mr. Beast is, he's a famous YouTuber who gets like 40 million views on all his videos. So if you don't know who he is and you're listening to this podcast, you need to check your like algorithm, because I don't know why you're getting us and not Mr. Beast.
It is wild that he's grown all of his businesses and stuff. Like Feastables is a legitimate candy bar full-on business that like makes money that he has now. He has multiple of those types of businesses. He's like diversified all of his stuff so much that he's He's gonna be like one of the richest people on earth, probably.
He's just known for giving his money away too, which is wild.
Yeah.
People will watch videos of him just giving stuff away. So that's pretty good. The only thing that I have against these meals is that they just take the same thing that they already have. I'm pretty sure the mozzarella like they don't add anything new. We've talked about this in the past, so I'll just touch on it real quick. The only thing that's new that you can't usually get from Zaxby's is this like candy bar thing, but everything else is already on the menu that you could just order. Like,
but so the box is cheaper than what it would be to get all those items because it's the cheese bites and the 2 pieces of toast. So, I mean, Zaxby's isn't a place that's going to be creating new items. They do what they do. It's chicken tenders or boneless wings. That's kind of their thing. But so this box is a little bit cheaper because that's what he wanted to do. He tries to make everything affordable and
so cheaper box with the candy bar.
Yeah,
there you go.
And the candy bars are good. I've had his like Reese cup version of it. It's pretty good.
Zach, did you have a food for thought?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, that's okay. Me and Tinsley had enough for facts for you there. All right, to basically wrap up the food for thought, to transition, I thought this would be the perfect transition into our bracket. Is Bluebell's latest collab is the perfect summertime treat. Tinsley is just on the ball as always when it comes to new things releasing. He has already had this, and it is Bluebell's A&W root beer float ice cream, which whoever their advertising person is, shout out. We're always here for the shout outs because it looks amazing. But Tinsley, I want to give the floor to you for this special review.
Oh, a special review.
Review.
I mean, it's delicious. I don't know what else to say. It's like they literally just took the soda and mixed it into the batch of ice cream. So yeah, I'm a big root beer float fan. So I think what you need to do is get this and then get some root beer and make a root beer float with it.
With it? Did you do that?
No, but I think that would blow your mind. So I'll be doing that soon, actually.
The flavor is our creamy vanilla ice cream swirled together with a A&W root beer flavored sherbet, available in half a gallon and pint size, as their description on the Instagram. So there you go. Shout out A&W ice cream. Speaking of ice cream, it's bracket time, everybody.
Bracket time.
I did want. Can we give the behind the scenes of what you were doing in your living room, because it's pretty hysterical stuff.
So this is we've actually been through a pretty painstaking process to make this bracket. This started last week. We polled ourselves and our wives, and we each put together our favorite 7 or 8 different ice cream flavors. After that, today we put them all up on our big board, which had a dry erase marker on a big window of my house, and we kind of worked through them to seed them in a way that we feel is appropriate. And so these are seeded as close as we feel like to how we feel about the seeding. So these are going to be real matchups, and we will see what happens. These are all, so let's kind of make sure we understand what types of ice cream talking about. This is not ice cream like you would get at, I don't know, like an ice cream stand. It's not milkshakes. It's not cookout milkshakes or anything like that. This is Blizzards. It's only ice creams you could find in the ice cream aisle at the grocery store. So it does include popsicles. It includes other novelty ice cream items or regular ice cream. A lot of them are not brand specific, but just flavors. We try to keep it as generic as possible. We're just drafting flavors against each other. Boys, how do we feel about this? Are we ready? Feel good?
Feel good. I was kind of already doing some I think this might upset this.
He was trying to alter the bracket
some
a little
seeds around a little bit. Big ice cream guy.
If you want drama or a house divided, I think this is the episode for you, because I think we might get a little bit of that in this one. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited, though.
We are going to get started. So we're going to start with our 1/16 matchup, everybody. That 1/16 matchup is Moose Tracks, which was our number one. That's a little contentious, maybe. That's my personal favorite. I know it's also my wife's personal favorite. I think it kind of hits everybody. It's very chocolatey. It's a little bit of everything in there. It's hard to not like Moose Tracks, I think.
I agree. It's one of my favorites as well.
I think it's my favorite.
Oh, so there you go. So all of us agree. Okay, so we have Moose Tracks versus a sleeper in some drafts, not ours probably. The Outshine fruit bars. You guys ever had those?
Yeah, we've had them. We have a box at our house. Morgan really likes them.
It's kind of refreshing,
yeah,
but it's not my favorite. But it's
right.
If you want a refreshing, like you're thirsty, hot day, get you.
It's not really ice cream.
You know? No, it's not really ice cream, but it made the bracket. So shout out.
So Outshine. So to move on, you must have a majority out of the three of us. So I vote Moose Tracks.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Outshine. I'm just kidding.
All right, Mason votes Outshine. It also was voted off of the podcast. Okay, so for our 8-9 matchup, moving on, and who will be going against Moose Tracks in the second round, we have at the 8 seed Bomb Pop, 9 seed Ice Cream Sandwich. This was circled for a lot of us as being a pretty tough matchup. Bomb Pop, Summer Classic. Mason's never had one because he would die.
It's like the layered ones, right? Like
yeah, there's like blue, white, red.
I told him
shaped
that.
like a rocket.
I've never had that. Yeah, had like tons of ice cream sandwiches though.
Ice cream sandwiches, another classic one. So we got some classics against each other here in the 8-9 matchup. How do we feel with that one?
I don't really like ice cream sandwiches. I don't like I guess the sandwich part of it, the bread. Mm-hmm. It gets stuck to the roof of your mouth really bad, in my opinion.
So not a bad take actually, and it gets kind of soggy sometimes.
And even the variations of Bomb Pops are good, but a classic Bomb Pop is hard to beat with the cherry, the pineapple, and the blue raspberry flavorings. That's the three.
I didn't realize it was pineapple.
Expert of the Bomb Pops.
Wow. Okay, so since I'm Bomb Pops, Mason,
I'm gonna go ice cream sandwich.
I'm on Bomb Pops. So the 8 seed Bomb Pop moves on. Next matchup. We have Cookies and Cream versus Strawberry. This is a 3-14 matchup. I think so. We have our 3-14 matchup. Cookies and Cream versus Strawberry.
I can have some strawberry all natural ice cream, but I still love the Cookies and Cream. So I'm gonna go. Well, I'll let us vote, but go ahead, Tins.
I'm sorry. This is a 4-13 matchup. Sorry, my fault. 4-13.
I'm not as big on the Cookies and Cream as most people. I don't really know why, but I really like a good strawberry ice cream.
Wow.
So I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna give it its one vote, I bet. But I'm gonna go strawberry ice cream here because I don't know. It's every once in a while I'll just get a good hankering for it and go on a strawberry ice cream kick.
Strawberry pieces like in the ice cream.
Oh yeah, the Tillamook strawberry ice cream is the way to go. For sure.
Does sound pretty good. I'm going to go Cookies and Cream here. Zach with the tiebreaker.
I've been on the record pretty hardcore about fruit and desserts, and so I'm on Cookies and Cream pretty hard.
Cookies and Cream is not a fruit, so there you go.
I got to stick to my guns. Next up, we have drumsticks and salted caramel. This is... Let me confirm before I say the wrong thing again. This is our 5-12 matchup. So this is big time upset kind of matchup. 5-12. Drumsticks classic versus salted caramel, which I feel like has come on in the last couple of years as being a pretty big, like, I don't know. There's a couple of flavors that I feel like you see that goes through these cycles. I think salted caramel like 5 years ago was huge. Now I think it's the orange dreamsicle is kind of having its time in the sun where everyone's doing a orange dreamsicle, where I feel like 5 years ago everyone's doing salted caramel. It's the big thing. And I like salted caramel.
You got your salt, you got your sweet, it's
caramel.
Yeah, got your caramel in there.
Oh no, not this guy.
He's got some takes.
The only thing I have against drumsticks, which I don't know how you prevent this from happening, but when you bite in and all the nut crumbles like fall off and make a mess, literally.
It's a little
everywhere.
messy.
Yeah, it's pretty messy. The best part is the cone at the end that's filled with chocolate, though, hands down.
That is elite ice cream right there. That chocolate filling
actually,
at the bottom.
You can buy those by themselves.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
So I think it's just chocolate.
And a cone piece.
Okay.
I'll fight you, Zach.
So I think this is so American Ingenuity took the ice cream cone and said, how do we make this portable? How do we make this accessible to people? I think that did it. Salted caramel is fine, but I'm going drumsticks.
I'm going drumstick.
Oh, yeah, it's drumsticks. Yeah.
All right.
There's no 5-12 upset here in this March Madness tournament.
There might have been if Tinsley hadn't cooked the bracket up.
Might have cooked the bracket a little bit.
Okay, next. We have our 2-15 matchup. We have chocolate chip cookie dough as the 2 seed versus a classic brown cow as a 15 seed. This was I ate a lot of these as I was a kid. I love a brown cow. It's very basic. It's vanilla ice cream with a little chocolate coating on it on a stick.
That crunch.
Versus
Crunchy shell.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
beats
pretty good.
The shell crunch, yeah.
Versus chocolate chip cookie dough, which has been another classic.
Yeah, that one, I love, the blizzards. I know we're not talking about blizzards, but I love that flavor. I love just the chocolate chip cookie dough. So I'm going to go with that one. However, brown cow is this is a closer one for me. Uh-oh.
I don't like chocolate chip cookie dough. I don't like cookie dough flavored anything. I don't like that undercooked. It's just, I don't like the texture of it. So I'm going brown cow here. Classic. Hard to beat.
Classic. It's classic.
It's classic.
Zach, down to you. I like it when Zach's.
They made it harder. I thought for sure this was going to be an easy one.
You can see him sweating.
I thought it was going to be easy out for me.
It's fun to make Zach make the tiebreaker. He does not like making decisions.
We could be here all night, basically, at this point.
I'm looking down the list. I'm trying to see how many other popsicle. We already have bomb pops, I guess. Okay, I'm going to chocolate chip cookie dough as much as I like brown cow. Sorry to the brown cow. All right, next mint chocolate chip at the 7 seed versus Twix ice cream bar at the 10 seed. 7-10. No, is that right? Yeah, 7-10.
Yeah.
Mint chocolate chip Twix ice cream bar. Tins, I think you have some thoughts about the Twix ice cream bar.
I think the Twix ice cream bar is elite, and I'm a big mint chocolate chip fan. Anytime like Macy and Morgan go get ice cream somewhere, they'll always call me like, "Hey, do you want a mint chocolate chip milkshake? We'll bring it home." Most times I say yes, or if not, it's just to get a different flavor. Don't worry, I'm still getting a milkshake every day.
Always, yes.
If ice cream is available, I'm buying it. But the Twix ice cream bar is a game changer. I feel like it's not like a super new thing, but it's fairly new. And so yeah, I'm gonna go there with that one.
It's also portable, easy to eat. The caramel filling in the middle. It's not like hard to eat. Like it's. You think the caramel would be like frozen tough or anything, but I don't know how they made it. It's good, top notch. Mint chocolate chip, I'm in the middle on. Like I have to be in the mood for it, so I'm gonna give the slight edge to the Twix ice cream bar.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give mint chocolate chip. I think it was the one before salted caramel, kind of. That was pretty big, where it was. Yeah. It was kind of everywhere. I do like mint chocolate chip, but I've been outvoted regardless. So, Twix ice cream bar. Moving on. All right. We have 2 matchups left in our first round. We have S'mores, which is our 3 seed, going against Klondike bars as our 14 seed. This is S'mores flavored ice cream. Also, it's become pretty popular. We got the marshmallow, the chocolate, graham cracker type flavors, versus a Klondike bar, which is pretty generic. Obviously, just a kind of more of a mix between an ice cream sandwich and like a brown cow situation. It's just like ice cream with a
crunchy shell, but they've had some flavors over the years. They've got like a Reese line,
an Oreo
one. You have Oreo,
toffee flavor.
Toffee,
yeah, they're pretty good. I don't eat those as regularly, but they're pretty good.
I kind of forget about them until I'm down the ice cream aisle, and I'm like, oh, Klondike.
Yeah, I don't buy them usually, which maybe it's indicative. I don't know.
I do feel like s'mores, as much as like orange push-up is everyone's new thing right now, s'mores is kind of it. You see in s'mores everything. I saw s'mores Oreos, the s'more Blizzard, candy bar. I saw a s'mores like candy bar the other day.
It's a very good summer flavor.
Yes. The Ben & Jerry's s'mores ice cream is top tier stuff. So I am definitely leaning s'mores here as well.
If you've been listening to the podcast since day one, first of all, shout out. But second of all, you know how much I love the s'mores flavored So I gotta go s'mores here.
I'll also go s'mores.
Ooh,
I'll go
clean
s'mores
sweep.
as well. Yep.
Sorry, Klondike bar. What would I do for a Klondike bar? Ignore it for a s'mores ice cream.
Dang. Okay, last first round matchup. We have a 6-11. We have a 6 seed orange push up, which has been talked about some on this podcast already, versus the 11 seed, a chocolate peanut butter flavor. I think that's the peanut butter is I think a pretty polarizing ice cream flavor. It can be a little rich, I think, at times.
Make you immediately need some water when
Yeah.
you get a chocolate peanut butter situation going, and it's just like, whoo, this is a lot going on. My mouth is dry, but it is delicious.
Now that I'm 30 and I'm declared uncool, and I'm just old at this point, it's I've never thought when I was younger, I always heard people say that's just too sweet, and I was like, no, I'm never gonna be that way. And now it's too sweet. It's just too much, and I apologize because it is good flavor, but I can only have like one spoonful, so I can't give a vote to something that I can only have one spoonful, and I have to wash it down with like 2 glasses of milk. So orange push-up pop.
Yeah, I agree. Orange push-up.
10s?
Oh, yeah. Orange push-up. Yeah.
All right.
All right, so here's where it's going to get interesting. We're moving into the second round. We have a 1-8 matchup at the top of our board. Moose Tracks Bomb Pop 1-8. Very different ice creams.
Very different.
We have a very rich, very chocolatey type ice cream versus a kind of fruitier flavor. Popsicle.
Just like UConn getting an easy road to the championship, I'm afraid that Moose Tracks might also get the easy road here.
You think Bomb Pop is easy?
No, Bomb Pop's putting up.
I think that's
fight.
tough.
Putting up a fight here.
Yeah.
Maybe single-digit loss.
I think Bomb Pop is solid.
Okay.
Yeah, just because you couldn't eat them.
That was a tough pull. Yeah, it makes it is like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Bomb Pops had, and their variations, like they even had like a Sour Patch Kid team up. They've had a lot of good stuff over the years. Like Bomb Pops didn't die in the 90s, like maybe a Brown Cow, like that whole brand. Like their boxes are still like what you would see in a 90s freezer.
Sure,
Bomb Pops developed with the times, but I mean I'll give it to Moose Tracks here.
I'm also gonna give the Moose Tracks, but I was big honorable mention to Bomb Pop. If you fell somewhere else in the bracket, you may have gone further. But
Moose Tracks it is.
That's how a cookie crumbles. Speaking of cookies, we have our next matchup. Cookies and Cream, which is coming in as our 4th seed, versus Drumsticks, our 5th seed. So we got our big 4-5 matchup.
Close matchup here. Go ahead, Tans.
Like I said, I'm not a big Cookies and Cream fan. I do love the Drumsticks, so I'm gonna stick true to a Drumstick right here. Give it my vote.
How about you?
I think more Cookies and Cream. I'm more of a Cookies and Cream fan. Drumsticks are okay. Personally, I have a pretty big aversion to peanuts or nuts on ice cream. Drumsticks has that, so that's a one peg down enough for me to put Cookies and Cream ahead.
Okay. Cookies and Cream is good. You got the Drumstick, the only knock, we've talked about it. It's all, but do you ever get the cones that are kind of like soggy ever? Or do I just keep them in the freezer way too long? They're like in the
soggy
freezer.
Cones.
Soggy, yeah. Like
if it's frozen, how's it soggy?
Yeah, I don't know. Or it's
buying
like
wet cones.
Dip in the water.
I guess it's like stale, not soggy. Maybe it's like a stale cone.
Those are 2 different words. 2
2
different meanings.
Words with
That's
Mason.
true.
You got that segment today. Shoot, I hate making decisions. Just like Zach does. I'm gonna go with Cookies and Cream just because Drumstick, a little messy, you know, the stale cone. I apologize.
Mason, tough.
That's what
The
you
whole
voted
world
for.
was watching. The whole world was watching. You blew it.
Okay, next up, we have a 2-10 matchup. We have chocolate chip cookie dough versus Twix ice cream bar.
This is
2 seed versus 10 seed. Yep. Interesting one.
Was Twix a 10 seed?
Yep.
How did we put Twix at a 10 seed? This is
Well, we
this
originally had it. So I came and pulled some strings.
this has to be the toughest matchup in my opinion so far.
I agree. 'Cause cookies and cream cookie dough is extremely popular, but Twix ice cream bars. That's my vote. I love that Twix.
I might
Ice
have
cream
to
bar.
get a box after I get done with this podcast. I'm gonna go Twix as well. Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't
Moving
have to decide.
on.
What would you have
Cookie
picked?
dough.
I don't know. I have not eaten the Twix ice cream bar as much, to be honest with you. I have seen it more like pop up in like small. I think it's pretty portable and pretty eatable on the go. So I think that does give it a little heads up. All right, last matchup of our second round. We have S'mores, which is our 3 seed, versus Orange Push-Up, our 6 seed.
That's a battle of the Titans right there.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. Yeah, we're kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty here. S'mores, Orange Push-Up.
I love all things of both of those. That's like my whole life. Both of those
alternating
things.
between
His whole life. I'm a big Orange Push-Up, Orange Dreamsicle fan, so I'm going Orange Push-Up. S'mores is good. We already have a couple other pretty savory options. Like, the Moose Track's not savory, but a little bit more like
rich.
Like
chocolatey.
Moose Track's cookies and cream, Twix ice cream bar. They're all pretty chocolate forward or cookie forward. So I wanted something a little different for this last spot. So I'm putting Orange Push-Up there.
This does debunk his I don't like fruit in my ice cream.
Facts. That's facts.
I'm going to go with, I have to go with S'mores. I can't back down right now. I didn't mean that. I hate to give you the...
No, that's okay. I'll make a decision because I've already made my mind. It's Orange Dreamsicle.
Let's go!
The amount of money I've spent in the last 2 months on the Orange Dreamsicle Frosty would tell you all you need to know.
Now, Frosty.
Quick question though, if we did this draft before the Wendy's Dreamsicle, would you?
It probably would have been S'mores.
Listen, Orange Push-Up shake is one of my favorite cookout shake from the get-go. Orange Push-Up has always been.
It's always been there for you,
and it hits every time.
Orange is a fruit, Zach. Did you know that?
Yeah, but you don't have like pieces of orange in your Orange Push-Up shake. That's where I draw the line. Like you get chunks of strawberry. I'm like, why? Who asked for this? If I wanted a fruit, I would go eat a strawberry. I want ice cream.
And that's health tips with Zach.
That's how you get fat. Okay. All right, we're in our final four, everybody. Our final four are Moose Tracks, Cookies and Cream, Twix Ice Cream Bar from the depths of the bottom side of the bracket, and Orange Push-Up. So we have our 1 seed versus our Cookies and Cream, which is our 4 seed. As the first up matchup here.
I'm pretty happy with this group. I feel
Moose Tracks versus
good.
Cookies and Cream. I think that's just some juggernauts there.
Yeah.
I'm going Moose Tracks. I love the swirls of fudge that are in it with the little mini Reese cups, the peanut butter cups as they call it. But it's a Reese cup. When you get one of those, I like search for it when I'm eating. I'm like, oh, I hope this bite's got it. And you get that crunch. Oh, it's nothing like it.
When you're spooning it out and you get the like huge threads of the fudge.
Yes. Oh,
that's fire.
It's good stuff.
I'm also going Moose Tracks.
Moose Tracks.
Cookies and Cream is fine, but it doesn't compare to my opinion. I'll eat Cookies and Cream if it's put in front of me, but Moose Tracks is always going to be my preference there. So. All right, bottom side of the bracket. Twix Ice Cream Bar, 10 seed, Orange Push-Up. What was that?
The Cinderella runs right here.
A little bit,
Orange
yeah.
Push-Up was a low seed as well.
Orange Push-Up was our 6 seed.
Wow. That's like
6-10.
Last year's March Madness where
Weird.
we had a bunch of low seeds make it.
We had like San
Cinderella
Diego
story.
State and FAU.
Who made this bracket? Who seeded this?
So I know I just voted against Orange Push-Up. It's the matchups now. I was devoted. It's like, how dare you vote for them when you just voted against them? But now it's like S'mores isn't there anymore. If I had to go up against what I've had the most recently, which I feel like I'm trying to do, I got to go Orange Push-Up here. Like the Orange Push-Up pops with the Flintstone that's been in my childhood.
Dang.
We didn't even bring that part up. The Orange Push-Up pops, Flintstone
Pretty
pops.
unique packaging.
Yeah.
The Orange Push-Up.
I haven't seen that in a while. I wonder if it's still
I wonder if
around.
they still make it like that.
We'll do some research.
It's not even in production anymore.
But it was that to just the flavors that they have now. I would literally just go to
Walmart?
No, restaurant.
Oh,
Cookout. Just to get that. So I'm going to go orange push-up.
I am too. Sorry, Twix Bar, you're out.
That was a sweep there
we're in
as well.
orange. All right.
I feel good. We're clean.
No.
Yeah, this
See,
is
now.
not...
All right, we're in the finals. Moose Tracks, 1 seed versus 6 seed are orange push-up. See, this is where it gets.
If this was a 7-game
These are so
series,
different. I know.
They're going to game 7.
Yeah.
This is a battle.
I'm already not looking
So here's
forward to
the thing. We talked. I've eaten. This comes down to, are we talking about the orange dreamsicle flavor? We're talking about the actual orange push-up pops that we all just said none of us have had since childhood. I eat Moose Tracks on a weekly basis, probably. So that's kind of part of my problem is if it's like the orange dreamsicle flavor profile. I mean, that's a different story than like the actual push pops because I do not eat those.
You know, at the very beginning, you said what you would get in an ice cream aisle.
It's true facts. We were there today.
We did not see that Flintstones box anywhere.
So today, for research purposes, we went to Kroger and decided to buy some ice cream. We bought a lot of different types of ice cream. I went straight. I did not even have to think twice. I went straight to the ice cream section, Mayfield, got some Moose Tracks. It was a done deal before I even walked in. I looked at all the other types of ice cream. I will say my only second thought was I saw a box of the like orange cream popsicles. The
Blue Bunny popsicles.
And boy, I almost was like, 12 of those. That's a good deal. But I didn't. I stood strong. So I think it's fitting that they're my top 2 here. I'm going Moose Tracks.
So it goes back to you. It was an orange cream filled, like flavored.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man. Tens. You wanna? I think I know what he's gonna go with, but we'll see if he throws a curveball.
Yeah, I'll make Mason make a decision.
No,
you could truly flip a coin between these two for me. It just depends on the day, I think. They're both amazing, but I'm gonna go orange dreamsicle here.
Were you gonna do that before?
Put the weight of the world on Mason's shoulders.
I don't like it. I was hoping he would have said Moose Tracks and we'd been done, but oh man, yeah, this is a tough one. We got to wrap this episode up, so I'm not gonna sit here for 20 minutes, but I probably could making a decision. I think if I had to pick what I like the most, and I'd be confident in the ice cream of the official ice cream of the pod, it would be Moose Tracks. I think all of us love it. I think the flavor, the fact that the other one is a flavor that we've all had, but we've not had an actual orange push-up in a really long time. That's what gives me the edge on Moose Tracks. So there you go. That's
all right. So the official ice cream of the Next Got podcast is Moose Tracks. Look at there. We're up for any and all sponsorships. Go buy Moose Tracks ice cream. That's going to be it for today. We're going to wrap things up there. This has been your very first live, all 3 of us in one room episode. So that was a fun time. Be on the lookout on Instagram this week. If you took any kind of offense to any of our picks today, if you were like, these guys are morons, go vote on Instagram, comment, send us DMs that you guys are stupid. We will take all of that and we will share it on the next podcast. We are thankful that you chose to listen to us on this Monday morning. We hope you have a great week, and we will see you on Friday. See ya.